And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Tuesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. A Tuesday night that finds us that much closer to the Jaguars and the Broncos this Sunday, 4 o'clock out in Denver, Colorado. Of course, you will hear the game right here on 1010XL, the number 1 seed in the AFC, the 12-2 Broncos, against currently the number 3 seed in the AFC, the 10-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. We are going to spend a ton of time on that matchup, not only the remainder of the week, but certainly tonight on Hacker After Dark. Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio will stop by in about 15 minutes or so. We'll talk with Brian and get his thoughts not only on Trevor Lawrence's performance against New York, not only on the Jags' 10-4 record overall, but certainly on that big trip out to Denver on Sunday. Also later on in the 8 o'clock hour, Tyler Brook. Tyler Brook, I've had on a few times. He runs a YouTube channel called Best Available. He's a film guy. He breaks down film, and I think he does a terrific job at it. He just passed 1 million views, actually, for the season on his YouTube channel. He's a pretty established guy when it comes to that. He did an entire 25-minute video yesterday just breaking down Trevor Lawrence, breaking down the intricacies of Lawrence, the play calling of Liam Cohen. Jaguar fans, if you're into that sort of thing, I know a lot of you are. I certainly am. Go to YouTube and go to Best Available Trevor Lawrence. It should be the first video that pops up. We're going to have Tyler on coming up here later on Hacker After Dark to basically talk about what he mentions in the video, talk about the play calling, the athletes getting in the right position to make plays, but more so talk about Trevor Lawrence and the absolute step he has taken, particularly in the last, say, month or so, but really you can go back to really the bye week. Trevor has looked like a different quarterback in the last 6-7 games. The Jaguars have scored 25 points or more every game since the bye week. So we'll do kind of a film breakdown, a play calling breakdown with Tyler Brook of the Best Available YouTube channel. That comes up also later on here in the 8 o'clock hour. So we're glad you're with us. Jaguars back at work tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center. I'll be down in the Jaguar locker room tomorrow afternoon. Looking forward to getting back down there, getting a vibe from the guys on what is arguably the biggest game in the National Football League this Sunday with Denver and Jacksonville. Combined records of 22, and where are we? 6, I guess, right? Yeah, 22-6 are these two teams combined. The Broncos have won 11 games in a row. The Jaguars have won 5 games in a row. So something we'll have to give at Mile High on Sunday afternoon. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, big topic, not only in this city, but within the organization here in Jacksonville, is the lack of respect, right? Jaguars don't get any respect. People are overlooking Jacksonville. I saw a segment yesterday on ESPN, one of their shows, where they talked about the AFC playoff contenders. It was a good 12, 15-minute segment, and there wasn't one mention of Jacksonville. So I thought, all right, well, obviously the lack of respect is continuing even after Trevor Lawrence did what he did on Sunday and the Jaguars got to 10-4 on the year. And then today rolls around. And national outlets that, by and large, in the history of the Jaguar organization, well, quite frankly, they hate us or just don't cover Jacksonville one iota, really giving Jacksonville a lot of love. Stephen A. Smith. Did you see this morning on ESPN's Get Up? Or I guess it was whatever his show's not Get Up, but it's First Take. First Take. Stephen A. Smith had the Jaguars in his top 5. I was floored by that. I didn't know Stephen A. Smith knew the Jaguars existed. Obviously he does, or somebody told him, because he had the Jaguars in the top 5. Pro Football Talk. Our buddy Mike Florio and all the terrific folks at Pro Football Talk that are always so kind and generous with their thoughts on the Jaguars have Jacksonville number 6 in their power rankings. I saw one, I believe it was CBS Sports, had the Jaguars in the top 5. And I say all that to say this. You know, one of the rallying cries for this team, and really this fan base, this entire city, has been, well, they don't respect you. They don't care about Jacksonville. They're not giving you any love. Go prove them wrong. Go shut them up. Go beat the teams they're talking about. We all know the drill. We all have done it. It's been beat into our heads every time the Jaguars are good. It was kind of the rallying cry in 2017. It was the rallying cry in 2022. And it has been the rallying cry in 2025. But when Stephen A. Smith does have Jacksonville in his top 5, when Pro Football Talk does have the Jaguars in their power rankings number 6, when you're getting features on the Pat McAfee show and you're getting features on NFL Network like the Jaguars have gotten this week, you can't really rely on, well, they're not respecting us card, because obviously they are. They're dedicating time for probably the first time all year, but I guess better late than never. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the top of a lot of minds, and it's because, to me, of what Trevor Lawrence did on Sunday. If the Jaguars went out there against New York and won 23-17, and Trevor threw for $180 and 2 touchdowns, I don't know if people would be talking about Jacksonville right now, despite a 10-4 mark. Same win-loss mark. But when Trevor Lawrence goes out there and throws for 330 yards, and not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 passing touchdowns, and, oh, by the way, he adds another 51 yards on the ground and that awesome rushing touchdown, that's going to get attention. And that has gotten attention. So now the question is, to me, with the national outlets showing you love, and you say, well, Hacker, what does it matter? Well, it matters because Liam Cohen and the players have literally said in press conferences, in the locker room, the lack of respect bothers them. They've played the disrespect card publicly. Can you play that now? When you are getting talked about? When you are getting, I guess, respected? So now what's the rallying cry? Oh, I told you last night what my rallying cry would be. This isn't a fluke. This isn't a one-year wonder. This isn't the Jaguars in 2017. Certainly isn't the Jaguars in 2022. I hate the comparison that people make the 2025 team to the 2022 team. They could not be more different. 2022 was 4-8. 4-8. And they got hot at the end of the year. But if you'll remember getting hot at the end of the year, remember the quarterbacks they beat? Ironically enough, they beat Davis Mills in that run in 2022. They beat Zach Wilson and that Geico caveman backup that New York had on Thursday night in 2022. They beat a washed-up Ryan Tannehill in 2022. And they played the AFC South Championship game and beat Josh Dobbs, who was in Tennessee for all of 12 days prior to that AFC South Championship game. The Jaguars in 2022 were 4-8. They got hot at the end of the year, and they beat, quite frankly, bad quarterbacks, leading them to the playoffs. Not this year. The Jaguars are 10-4. And think about the teams they've beat. They beat Patrick Mahomes when Kansas City was playing well in the month of October. They beat Brock Purdy on the road in San Francisco. Bryce Young hasn't been half bad this year. They beat him. They beat the crap out of Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I mean, look, different scenarios. Don't tell me that this has 2022 vibes. Because if you tell me this team has 2022 vibes, I almost think that that is a lack of respect to what has been accomplished here in 2025. 2022 was a great run, but it was a great 6-week run from 4-8 to 9-8, and then obviously the comeback against the Chargers. That season was a heck of a lot of fun for 6 weeks. 2025? This season has been fun basically all year. Maybe with the 2-week period between Seattle and LA, that sort of was bad. But aside from that, you're 10-2 outside of that 7-day window. 10-2. This 2025 team far more reminds me of 2017, and dare I say, reminds me of some of those late 90s teams that were good the entire year and that you thought could make a legitimate run in the playoffs. Guys, I got to tell you, I think this team could make a legitimate run in the playoffs. And I love the fact that they get a game like this on the road in December against the Denver Broncos, who are 12-2. You want to talk about a measuring stick game to know where you are weeks away from the postseason? We're going to find out with Jacksonville. And I got to tell you something. I think the rest of the league might find out as well. You think they're getting some love this week? Let Jacksonville go into Denver and win on Sunday. Whew. They'll be getting talked about as maybe the best team in football. Certainly the best team in the AFC. If they go in there and they can win at Mile High. Something, by the way, that no team has done this year. Denver is the only team that is undefeated so far at home in the National Football League. Ton of analysis on the Jaguars and the Broncos. We'll begin with my buddy Brian Sexton. He's seen a thing or two in Jaguar history. Where does he put Trevor Lawrence's performance on Sunday in the win over the Jets? We'll talk about the Jags. We'll talk about the AFC playoff picture. And we will certainly talk about the Jaguars and the Broncos. My buddy Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio, joins me next on a Tuesday night here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark. Till 10 o'clock, it's 1010XL, and it's 92.5 FM.
What could Jacksonville do better? Find out from one of our best ever as David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Monday from 10 to noon. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here for the best weight loss program I've ever been on. Look, 2026 is right around the corner. Are you thinking about it? Have you heard me talk about it for a while? You need to drop 20, 50. Heck, you need to drop what I did, 100 pounds. Make the call, guys. Set up the consultation. Start when you're ready. No medications, no supplements, no injections. You get coaching every week. You follow the plan you and your coach go over. You follow that plan, the weight falls off. It is the best weight loss program I've ever been on because it gave me the best results. Over 100 pounds of weight loss thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com. If it's time to drop the weight, do what I did with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, I'm worried.
You? Really? About what?
Well, I like to have a little seasonal potluck. Invite some friends and neighbors and guys from the office. But if the food gets spicy and the party gets rocking and that old toilet in the two-piece can't handle the traffic, well, what if my drain backs up right in the middle of everything?
Dude, imagine you're wearing my sunglasses.
Okay. Shoomp. Whoa.
If you're planning to host a holiday party and a blocked household drain line threatens to ruin the whole thing, call us and tell us. The drain clearing experts at Bueller Air and Plumbing will unclog your drain for free.
You do that for free?
It's Christmas.
Yeah, but for free?
The holidays can get pretty hectic. If a clogged drain line threatens to ruin the whole thing, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, I'm Steffi. You may know me from your social feed. I go big for the holidays, so I'm going to Famous Footwear because the best gifts are giving famous. My friends and family are gonna love all these styles from Nike, Adidas, Crocs, New Balance, Skechers, and more. With over 800 stores, you're never far from the perfect gift. So make your list and make it famous. Come in today for buy one pair, get one half off at your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
Helmets and Heels calls on Jags former middle linebacker Tom McManus to elevate your afternoon.
He's the best. Guys got it all.
Catch the pros' point of view afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL. Fought for you by Green Law Group. For the injured, fighting for you.
It's the Jaguars' final home game of the 2025 regular season, and you don't want to miss it. Join us for our Fan Appreciation Game as the Jaguars face off against the Tennessee Titans in a can't-miss division matchup. It's your chance to cheer on the team as they take the field in their Prowler throwbacks for one last time this season. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action. Go to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned, whether you're sitting or standing. If you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jacks, and go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
It's December. You need cash. You also need a new Kia Fast. At Kia on Atlantic, you can get both because it's our year-end cash bash. And during the Kia Season of New Tradition sales event, make no payments for up to 6 months. Or take advantage of 0% APR. Hurry and get to the year-end cash bash. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars now 10-4 on the year after absolutely destroying the New York Jets on Sunday. They still are in first place in the AFC South, and they have a big one coming up this Sunday at Mile High, taking on the 12-2 Denver Broncos. Let's look ahead to Denver. Let's review New York with my buddy Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. And Brian's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Brian, how we doing, man?
Well, 10-4 would say we're doing great.
There's no doubt about that. And look, I'm watching Trevor Lawrence yesterday, and let's not bury the lead. I go back, Brian, I guess James Stewart, the 5 rushing touchdowns against Philadelphia in the late 90s. The Jimmy Smith game in Baltimore, we went well over 200 yards receiving. Outside of those two, I don't know if I've seen very many other individual performances in Jaguar history that were as dominating as what Trevor Lawrence did against the Jets.
Well, first, I don't want to take anything away because it certainly was a dominant performance. Fred Taylor's 243-yard night at Three Rivers Stadium back in the 2000 season where he scored 3 touchdowns was one that I think bears mentioning. And Mark Brunell had a couple of really good games too. But I get your point. This goes up there. Blake Bortles, with whom he tied the record for 5 touchdown passes, who had the big 300-plus yard day and the 51 points against the Colts 10 years ago. So there have been some, and this is right at the top. In fact, it's probably the best if you consider that he has 6 touchdowns that he's directly responsible for, which is a franchise record. But to your point, it looked like he was toying with the Jets defense yesterday. He was setting them up and doing whatever he wanted. It was a master stroke of both quarterback play, and let's not get too far away from the play calling, because the design of some of those plays, especially the 4 touchdowns to the running backs, was spectacular. They were targeting Quincy Williams, and Quincy Williams bit nearly every time. The quarterback was magnificent.
And it cost the Jets defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks, his job as he was fired earlier this week, Monday morning after that loss. All right, Trevor Lawrence, you mentioned Liam Cohen and the play calling. Brian, is it just a simple matter of the light has come on for Trevor? Because as recently as I'd say, certainly the bye week, the London earlier before that against the Rams, this was not the Trevor Lawrence we've seen. The last 5 or 6 weeks, he has looked very, very much different.
Well, listen, I point to the interception he threw to Budda Baker in the 4th quarter in Arizona. He went to the sideline, and there was a look on his face, and I look at this. I'm a body language guy. I like to see how people respond to adverse situations. And it was almost as if he said, screw this. And he came back out on the field. And from that moment, remember, he led that drive. He was 4 of 5, threw the touchdown to Parker Washington, led the overtime drive with a game-winning field goal. And since that moment, Ryan, he has 10 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's completed 60% of his passes, which is above his seasonal average. And his passer rating is 117.8. He is playing since that moment at an insanely high level. So I give him a lot of credit because I think that was the moment where he said, I'm better than this. Also, it's not as simple as the switch coming on because Liam Cohen has been masterful in the way that he has worked his quarterback. I mean, he has coached him hard, and Trevor's taken the coaching. So I think it's a combination of things. But the two men were paired together this offseason because Shad Khan and Tony Boselli believed that Cohen would be the guy who could bring the best out of Trevor Lawrence. Well, that's what we've seen the last couple of weeks. 3 straight weeks with the kind of performance that he's had, we're seeing the best of him.
Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. Travis Etienne on Sunday was sensational. 3 receiving touchdowns out of the backfield. Brian, you and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I'm old enough to remember when people wanted Travis Etienne traded or thought that Tank Bigsby was going to beat him out. And all he's done is probably have one of his best years as an NFL running back. And I don't know if it's going to be here. I hope it's going to be here. But whether it's here or elsewhere, Travis Etienne is going to get paid this offseason.
Well, listen, the Jaguars are going to have to at least investigate the franchise tag for him. They've got a lot of guys they want to pay. I mean, Jacoby Myers is at the top of the list, and Cole Van Lanen's not far behind. And Brenton Strange needs a new deal. So you've got to be very cautious. And Devin Lloyd is a guy that, people, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep Devin. So you've got a lot of guys to pay. You got to be very careful with it. But I think Travis Etienne, since the first day of training camp, has been on a mission to prove his worth. In 2023, he had 1,484 yards from scrimmage and 12 touchdowns. Today, he has 1,203 yards on this season and 12 touchdowns. So he's got a chance to have the best season of his career in the most important season of his career. I want to highlight something. Yesterday, on the 45-yard screen, he made a move at about the 35-yard line, kind of a jump cut to get inside the cornerback before Robert Hainsey got there. And he almost went flat-footed and then exploded back to the outside and raced down the sideline. Listen, that reminds me of Fred Taylor. And I don't make comparisons to Fred Taylor. But that play reminded me of the 38-yard touchdown that Fred had in the 62-7 win over the Dolphins, where he made guys miss and then just exploded to the end zone. It was a remarkable moment. And I think that Travis Etienne, if the Jaguars are going to make a run into the playoffs, Travis Etienne is going to have to be right there with Trevor as this team's MVP. I thought until the last 3 weeks that you could safely name him the most valuable player. Trevor's taken that mantle from him, but he's going to have to play at a very high level.
Brian, I don't even know if Jakobi Meyers would be on this team had Travis Hunter not got hurt in practice. Maybe they would have invested in another wide receiver.
Now, listen, I think they were going to because they were uncertain of where Brian Thomas Jr. was. If he was going to come back healthy and mentally hungry to go and chase his potential. It's turning out that he is. But I think they were going to make the trade regardless, though I get where you're going.
And the thing with Jakobi Meyers is, look, he's been here for, 5 games, 6 games now. Yeah. I mean, we always talk about a home run trade. This has been a grand slam. This has been a Reggie Jackson 3 home run World Series trade for the Jaguars with Jakobi Meyers, has it not?
No, there's no doubt about it. And I think we've talked that, you put Marcel Darius on the list of impactful midseason trades that the Jaguars have made. But right now, if this guy makes your franchise quarterback play at a different level, and he is, then I think you can put him on top. The Jaguars could have hoped to get this sort of production from Meyers, but they couldn't have even thought about getting the quarterback to the level he's at by the addition of one player. And to be fair, listen, Parker Washington has raised the level of his game. Brenton Strange came back. So now you've got 3 guys who are always where they're supposed to be and are sure-handed. And now you mix in a guy like Brian Thomas Jr., who gives a different dimension, a different element to the offense with the deep ball. What's he got? 3 catches over 30 yards in the last 3 weeks? All of a sudden now, all of the pieces are in place. And the quarterback is taking advantage of this moment. And, you can talk about how long it took him to get where he's going to be, but it took the Jaguars some time to put the pieces around him that he needed. And it's pretty exciting to think that Jakobi Meyers may have been the key that unlocked it all.
Final moments, Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. I certainly want to get to Denver in one moment. We talk about coaching, how much coaching matters in the NFL. Well, I look at Sunday and the Monteric Brown interception, Quentin Morris making big contributions, B.J. Green with a quarterback sack, Cole Van Lannon doing what he did for the second straight week at left tackle, and you can just rattle them off. Brian,
Antonio Johnson has 3 interceptions. Antonio Johnson, who couldn't get on the field last year, has 3 interceptions this season.
It's
second most on the team.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's just a handful of guys. There's a bunch of others. I mean, the power of coaching and putting guys in the right position to succeed, you just cannot understate it. As much as we talk about Trevor and the guys at the top of the roster, James Gladstone talked about elevating the floor with what he did in the offseason. Liam Cohen has taken those players and elevated that floor into what is now one of the best teams in the NFL.
Listen, Liam Cohen is fearless. I just heard him at his press conference, and we were laughing at the end. He was talking about the play clock and how it doesn't bother him that it goes all the way down to 1 or 0 before the ball is snapped. He's fearless, and it struck me that that's what he's gotten from this team. He's removed the anxiety, and he has a team that is playing fearless football right now. There's no doubt. Listen, he may not win Coach of the Year, but he's right there with Mike Vrabel. He is right there with Ben Johnson. Go look at the Jags offense and compare it to the Bears. The Bears aren't doing anything more, not even points per game, than the Jaguars are. He's right there. He may not win it because he isn't the coach in Boston. He's not the coach in Chicago, but nobody has done a better job with his team. And I could argue he's done a better job because this team was 4-13 last year. The culture was vanilla, right? And I like ice cream, so I'm going to give you the analogy. He's turned this thing into Tin Roof Sundae, baby. Every bite you take, there's another layer of flavor.
And that brings us to this Sunday, and it's a big one in the AFC. The 12-2 Broncos, the 10-4 Jaguars. Brian, you've been out to Denver a time or two with some big games between Denver and Jacksonville. And look, this could be the beginning of what could be a two-parter. We might see these guys again in the month of January in the playoffs. But what an opportunity for the Jaguars coming up on Sunday.
Listen, Ryan, it's my favorite road trip in the NFL. The culture, the ambiance, just the feeling of playing the Broncos at Mile High where John Elway once roamed. I mean, it's an amazing place. And the fact that you've got a 12-2 Broncos team and a 10-4 Jaguars team, and the Jaguars need to win. I mean, I think everybody's aware that the Texans are right on their heels. And if the Jaguars and Texans finish with the same record, the way that the schedule, the way that the tiebreaker scenarios roll out, I think the edge goes to the Texans. So if you want the division title in a home playoff game, you need to keep winning. And I love that added little edge that you have to have. So the Jaguars are 10-4, but they are not happy because they know they can't be. They need to keep winning.
And what's complicating about this, and again, I'd have to do more research, but I believe I have this right, one of the tiebreakers is your record against common opponents. The Texans lost to the Broncos. So if Jacksonville goes out there and beats Denver, that would be a double deal for the Jaguars, not only getting their 11th win of the year, but beating a team that already beat Houston.
It would help you in a number of ways so that you're not relying on either the Chargers or the Colts in the final 2 weeks to help you if you lose. Listen, the Texans are not losing to the Raiders this week. So if the Jaguars don't win this week, they're liable to go from being the 3 seed to the 7 seed. Now, listen, it's only on paper, right? And it could flip back the next week if the Chargers help you out and you beat the Colts in Indy. But there are no guarantees unless you keep winning. And if you do, well, you put yourself in a great spot. Think about this, Ryan. The team with the most wins in Jaguars history is 99 with 14. The second is the 2005 team that won 12 ball games. You keep winning, you could get 13 and put yourself among the very best single-season teams in Jaguars history in Liam Cohen's first season with a team that was 4-13 a year ago. Man, what a story we're telling right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Brian Sexton. Brian, final question. We got about 60 seconds. Look, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I can tell you what Liam Cohen's going to do. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. No one's going to pick Jacksonville to win this game, and Cohen is going to absolutely play into that like he has all year long.
You know, I agree with you to a point, Ryan, but I don't know if he has to play the card this week because – the Jaguars, thanks to Greg Newsome, Brian Thomas, and Mason Smith, they gave 14 points to the Jets yesterday. I think Liam could point to themselves and say, we always talk about this is about us. Well, yesterday we played a good game, but it wasn't great because we did some stupid things, right? Greg Newsome's penalty set up a field goal. Mason Smith set up a touchdown, and Brian Thomas took away 1st and goal at the 5, and the Jags had to settle for a field goal and gave away a potential 4-point swing. So I think he can point to himself this week and say, if it's going to really be about us, then we got to play smarter football than that. And I think that's the tack he's going to play. He's going to let the national people, because I really think you're going to get a little love this week. Trevor Lawrence is bringing the love to Jacksonville because he's playing now at a level that everyone expected him to. We'll see, Rye. I don't mean to split hairs with you, but I think this week, I think he can play the It's About Us card.
Of course, Jaguars.com will have you covered all week. Sounds of the game, which I love, Brian. By the way, everybody talks about the hunt, and as great as the hunt is, the weekly Sounds of the Game is absolutely spectacular. I know you'll have Jags AM, and obviously we'll hear you on the pregame and the postgame on Sunday.
Hey,
Jaguars, Broncos.
If you like Sounds of the Game, then tune into Jags Wired on Wednesday evenings on Fox 30. And we give you not only Sounds of the Game, but we give you 2 segments. One is the mic'd up segment all by itself, and the other is a series called Closer Look. And this week, Kai Stevens sits down with Jacoby Myers. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Love that. Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. Brian, I know you're busy. Thank you. I'll see you down there in the locker room on Wednesday.
Looking forward to it, Rye. Have a good one.
There you go, Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com. Always appreciate his time with us here on Hacker After Dark. Certainly the big story on Sunday was the performance of Trevor Lawrence. Why have we gotten to this point? 10 touchdowns, no interceptions the last 3 games. Let's look at from the film, the analytics, the play calling point of view. Tyler Brook has a YouTube channel called Best Available. They just passed the 1 million mark in views for this football season. It is a film breakdown. If you like that sort of thing, you'll love the video that he put out yesterday evening about Trevor Lawrence's performance on Sunday. Tyler's going to join me next to talk about Trevor Lawrence, to talk about this Jaguar offense, and to preview the game against Denver on Sunday. Tyler Brook of the Best Available YouTube channel joins me next here on Hacker After Dark.
Every Friday in the fall is Pregame Friday.
Is this what I think it is? Yes, it is.
We'll get you ready for the games. Who's in, who's out.
This is what I'm talking about.
Built by Dream Finders Homes. Homes built to fit your lifestyle on 1010XL.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus, straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
Custom Home Builders, fed up with your electrical and low voltage companies that ghost you mid-project, sparking delays? Unreliable subs and poor electrical work that derails your schedules? Denny Thompson here for Tyson Inc., experts in seamless electrical services for your custom builds. Pre-construction planning, integration, and installation, no hassle. Your homeowners will love the new Tyson showroom. Home builders team up with Tyson for your next home building project. TysonInc.com.
The holiday season is the season of love. If you're getting engaged now or just looking for that unforgettable gift for the woman you love, Beards Diamonds is here for you. This Christmas, Beards is proud to showcase the world's premier designers in both bridal and fashion. Like Crown Ring, engagement rings and bands fit for royalty. Crown Ring brings your dreams to life with a vast selection of styles and spectacular precious metals. Beards is showcasing the entire Crown Ring collection with unmatched craftsmanship, design, and comfort. Beards Diamonds is the town center's local jeweler. So at Beards, you never have to settle for corporate chain store quality. We've put together our best selection ever of exquisite jewelry for the holidays. From the newest designer styles to classic diamond studs and diamond bracelets, with your choice of natural or lab-grown diamonds. Whether your holiday budget is a few hundred or a few $100,000, the experts at Beards will help you find the jewelry that reflects your love. Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
You lost your swing. We got to go find it.
It's your Saturday morning swing adjustment.
Grip it and rip it.
Get the golf tips and talk to take your game to the next level. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday mornings at 10 on 1010XL.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pet Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPetServices.com.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors. At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit hollispools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
The new Ackerman Cancer Center is now open at World Golf Village, providing state-of-the-art screenings and diagnostic exams with no referral required. Same-day appointments are available. Call today or visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Jaguars and the Broncos. It is a big one in the AFC Sunday at 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. The Jaguars 10-4 on the year. First place in the AFC South. But they need to keep winning because Houston is only one game off the division lead. Let's preview Jaguars-Broncos. Let's look back on the big win over the New York Jets. And let's look at the AFC playoff picture with Tyler Brook. You can follow him at Best Available on YouTube. And, in fact, Tyler just put out a whole 20-minute video based entirely on Trevor Lawrence's performance in that win over New York on Sunday. Tyler, thank you for taking time with us, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I appreciate you promoting that Trevor Lawrence video. I've followed his career very closely since his time at Clemson, and man, it feels like he's playing his best football right now. So I'm sure, all Jaguars fans are pretty fired up to be 10-4 right now. Really exciting time for you guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I certainly want to talk about Trevor and the performance, but I thought that video you put together in that win over the Jets based on Trevor's performance was really good. It was a film breakdown. I think Jaguar fans will enjoy that. Tyler, for Jaguar fans listening, what's the best way for them to go about finding that video?
Yeah, I think if you just type in Best Available Trevor Lawrence, you'll find it. Trevor Lawrence went nuclear on Sunday. A whole breakdown as far as how Trevor played, the scheme that Liam Cohen's dialing up, and just how he's taking advantage of certain weaknesses on defenses. I like to, obviously I get in the weeds. That's kind of my MO when it comes to film breakdowns. But I try to simplify it enough that even if you're not the biggest film junkie like I am, that you should have no problem understanding it if you're any level of football fan.
All right, let's start right there. Why has Trevor Lawrence, and it's really been, the Jets game was unreal, but even go back to Indy and Tennessee, we're talking 10 touchdowns, no turnovers in the last 3 games. Why has, I guess for lack of better terminology, why has the light come on right now for Trevor Lawrence here in 2025? What is going so right now?
Yeah, I think it's a two-pronged approach. I think number one, and this is one I think anyone can understand, is just that, it's going to take some time for any quarterback to get comfortable with a new system. And, Liam Cohen loves to dial up a lot of exotic stuff. It's a pretty unique system, coming from the college ranks just a couple of years ago. I think people forget, just how recently he was at Kentucky. And I think that was just going to take some time to acclimate. So seems like he's really getting on the same page, and we're seeing a lot of success as far as how they can attack, the weaknesses on a defense. But honestly, I think the bigger reason, especially lately, that he's having so much success is the acquisition of Jakobi Meyers. I've been saying for years that if I ever had like an alpha number one wide receiver who's a big-bodied X, I think Brian Thomas Jr. absolutely fits that build. Meyers is the kind of Z receiver or number 2 option that I would want in my offense. He's not the flashiest. He doesn't have like these elite tools, but he knows how to get open and is reliable when you throw him the football. And, that's just really what I need in a wide receiver, too. And I think just Meyers fits that bill so well. He's opened up everything else for the rest of the passing game. And the fact that he's established a connection so quickly with Lawrence is really encouraging. I just think he's like kind of that exactly missing piece in their passing game they were missing, especially with, Travis Hunter out and going through his ups and downs before that. And I like Parker Washington in, a complementary role, but I don't ever know if he was going to be that, consistent number 2 option. I kind of like him as a third, fourth, outlet. I just think Meyers allows everyone else to do their jobs more effectively. I don't know if his box score numbers are ever going to be impressive, but what he does for everyone else in a passing game unlocks a lot of that, and I think you're seeing that's why the Jaguars are having so much success lately.
Tyler Brook here with us. Best Available is where you find his work on YouTube. It's a film breakdown, and he just did an entire 20-minute piece on the Jaguar victory over the New York Jets on Sunday. You mentioned Liam Cohen, Tyler. From a national point of view, obviously Vrabel in New England, Ben Johnson in Chicago, probably McDonald in Seattle, maybe McVay in L.A., all certainly deserving of Coach of the Year. Those guys have done a great job. And maybe I have my Jaguar homer glasses on here. Liam Cohen inherited a 5-18 team. They had gone 5-18 in the previous 23 games prior to Liam Cohen's arrival. They lose their number 2 overall pick in practice to a season-ending knee injury. And yet, despite that, he's got the Jaguars 10-4, and even in the conversation for even the 1 or 2 seed in the AFC. I'm not sure if there is a coach in the NFL that has done a better job to this point than Liam Cohen has done here in Jacksonville.
I actually totally agree with you on that front. I really appreciate what Vrabel and Johnson have done for their respective franchises. I just think there's a couple of reasons why he's not getting the love for, Coach of the Year. One, is just the Jacksonville market. I think people are always going to be a little reserved when it comes to that, just given the history of the franchise. But if anything, I think that should be more of a positive for him. But the other thing is, he's had a couple moments that have kind of rubbed people maybe the wrong way. That might be too harsh of a word, but whether it was the Duval in the introductory press conference or whether it was beefing with Robert Saleh after the Niners game, he's just a little bit of an eccentric, kind of awkward guy. And, voters are weird when it comes to voting on awards for little stuff like this. But I totally agree with you. Even if he doesn't win the award, I think he absolutely belongs in that conversation with some of these other coaches and Coach of the Year because it's been a sensational turnaround.
And one of the things too, and you talk about this in your film breakdown, and I'm just curious your overall thoughts. Look, an offense is only as good as the offensive line, right? Trevor's not going to be able to find wide receivers if he's not given the time. Boy, this Jaguar offensive line has struggled at times this year. Not in the last 3 games, man. In the last 3 games, they have not allowed a sack. They are playing very well, and that's why this offense, to me, is flourishing.
Yeah, they don't have any, household names on that offensive line either, right? And, something that's going to have to come down to that is, if you don't have an offensive line that's, a top-tier unit, you're going to have to get creative about getting the ball out more quickly. And I'm trying to pull up as we're talking, his time to throw in these recent games to see if that's changed at all. It's staying around last 3 games. It's hovering around under 3 seconds. So, I that's a little bit longer than I was expecting. So it might just be the scheme and getting the protections right. That is a big part of, O-line play. Even if you don't have the most talented unit, if you are just making sure that the protection call is correct every time, at the very least, guys can get in the way. And another part of Trevor Lawrence that not a lot of people talk about enough, for a 6'6", 220 guy, he sure is mobile. And, when he can use his legs to avoid pressure, I'm thinking about that deep shot last week. I can't remember who it was, but, he's facing pressure. He bails out to his left and throws up a prayer. Maybe it was to Parker Washington.
Yeah, it was Parker Washington, yep.
Yeah. He has that athletic ability to escape and extend plays when the offensive line isn't able to get there, hold their guys. It feels like everything is connected for Lawrence right now, and I think he's no longer playing, timid, and I think he's just going out there and playing ball, and, obviously Jaguars fans are seeing what it looks like when Lawrence is comfortable.
Couple of more for Tyler Brook. You can follow his work by searching Best Available on YouTube, and he just did an entire 20-minute breakdown of Trevor Lawrence's performance in the win over the Jets last Sunday. The running game as well, and I shouldn't even say the running game. Let me mention Travis Etienne because he scored 3 touchdowns, all receiving out of the backfield. We talked about Bucky Irving in Tampa under Liam Cohen last year. Could that translate? Well, clearly it has because Travis Etienne has had a resurgence here in 2025.
Yeah, and then you even had that wheel route to Tootin out of the backfield. I think, one of the things with running backs, especially in the passing game, if you notice, and I think Cohen noticed this on Sunday, if you notice that linebackers struggle in coverage, you can really attack them with running backs in a variety of different ways. And man, did Cohen have a plan of that, but it just feels like the backfield for Jacksonville specifically has so much explosiveness and speed with their playmakers that, it opens up so many possibilities. You can get those guys involved without just having them run the ball. You can get the ball in their hands in a variety of different ways. And I think Cohen, again, that's one of the big things from his college days he was really successful at, and we're seeing that again here in the NFL.
I'm stunned, and I'm just curious your opinion more than anything. Jacksonville was the only team that interviewed Liam Cohen. And now, obviously, they hired him after the soap opera, the mini soap opera. But for all the head coaching jobs that were open, for Cohen to only interview one place and you see the results, I'm just stunned that more teams weren't interested in him last offseason.
Yeah, from things I had heard, around the combine and things like that, it is just kind of his personality. He's just, a little bit different, wired different than some of these other head coaching candidates. And frankly, he just had very limited NFL experience. The Ben Johnsons and Mike Vrabels of the world have been around the league for a lot longer than you'd think. Cohen, what was it, Kentucky 3 years ago? He was not, in the NFL. I guess previous to Kentucky he was, and bouncing around, but I think it was maybe just one of those hesitancies of, is he coming up too fast in the NFL ranks, combined with that personality. But I'll tell you what, between him and the GM hire, it just feels like, things are absolutely trending in the right direction for this franchise.
Tyler, it's a big one on Sunday. Jaguars, Broncos, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL, 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Currently the number 1 seed, Denver at 12-2. The current 3 seed, Jacksonville at 10-4. And for both teams, it's important because everybody in the AFC has decided not to lose, right? The Chargers, the Bills, the Texans, the Jags, the Broncos. The only reason the Patriots lost is because they played one of those teams in Buffalo. All these AFC teams have to keep winning because everybody else is.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, I'm a Packers fan, so I, kept a close eye on Denver the past week, and obviously saw them take down Green Bay this past week. Really tight race in the AFC, and I won't lie, I keep wanting to doubt Denver, but every time I watch them, that's just a team that has zero panic in them. They have a absolutely stout defense with playmakers at all 3 levels. They have one of the quietly best offensive lines in football. And then Bo Nix, even though I'm not totally sold on him, he's taking what defenses are giving him. And, as long as you're staying ahead of the sticks, you don't have to be one of these flashy, explosive playmaking types. It's just such a rock solid team everywhere that, when they're playing disciplined football, they're the 1 seed for a reason.
Tyler, I want to finish up talking about the video and your YouTube channel, but final question. Denver, I think, has already established themselves. People are believers in Denver now at 12-2. It's still a vitally important game for them. Don't get me wrong. But I think from a national perception, and maybe that doesn't matter to some, although I think Liam Cohen is using that as motivation here in Jacksonville, kind of the lack of respect card. I think it's a bigger game from a perception standpoint for Jacksonville on Sunday than maybe it is for Denver. What's your thought there?
I mean, I totally agree with you. It's not like they've had a lot of primetime games this year, right? Some of their best performances are coming these, early slates. And I'm really curious to see how their defense shows up on, one of these bigger stages. The Jaguars defense is 7th in DVOA this year, and just kind of feels like it's going under the radar. But Trayvon Walker is one of my favorite prospects of the last few years. I know people were questioning why he went number 1 overall, but I'm a huge fan of everything he does when it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. I just think this is an absolutely real test. This is the most excited I've been about a Jaguars game in, probably a decade, maybe since that run where they made it to the AFC Championship. Really excited for this contest.
I got Disney with the family. I'm taking the day off on Friday, and we're going to be down there Saturday. The family is well aware, Tyler, that we are getting in the car and we are hitting Interstate 4 by 11 a.m. Sunday, so I can be in my house 4 o'clock for Jaguars Broncos. Of course, I'll also have the 5th quarter post-game show on Sunday evening, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Broncos go final. All right, tell Jaguar fans, best available on YouTube, the Trevor Lawrence piece that you just put together. And by the way, congratulations. I saw you just passed 1 million views on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. It's been a really fun season covering stuff. I know Jaguars fans are really used to the NFL draft, which they probably don't have to worry about as much going forward. But if you are also a big fan of the draft, there's going to be a lot of draft content on there going forward. So I hope you check it out. Really appreciate all the support from you guys. And I want to end on something real quick. Last time I was on your show, I had a pretty bold prediction that the Jaguars were going to win the AFC South. I just got to tell you right now, I'm going to flex a little bit. I'm feeling pretty good about that prediction right now.
You should. And what's in there, I mean, obviously the Jaguars and the Texans are in a battle. It could come down to tiebreakers. I think Houston probably has to win out. By the way, I think they are going to win out. But the only way Houston, to me, wins the division is if they win out. And then if it gets to both 12-5 and 12-5, there'll be all sorts of tiebreaker scenarios. But what a battle it is between the Jaguars and the Texans here down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, Texans have a really fun team as well. I love D'Amico Ryans. I know I'm on the Jacksonville radio show. Maybe I shouldn't say too many nice things about him.
As long as you don't say anything nice about Azeez Al-Shire, well, we're all good.
I don't think anyone likes that guy.
No. He's public enemy number one here in Duval County. Hey, Tyler, great work on the Trevor Lawrence video. I invite all Jaguar fans, again, check out, go to Best Available Trevor Lawrence, and you'll see the YouTube video there by Tyler Brook. Tyler, thank you for the time. Happy holidays, and we'll talk soon, pal.
Yeah, happy holidays to you guys as well. Thank you.
Sports sounds better on radio.
I love it. I love it.
You get the most live sports on 1010XL.
Truth Teller here, and I've solved all of your holiday problems and stress. A gift card from the Blue Crab Crab House. Get this, you buy a $50 gift card, and you get an additional $15 card for free. It's that simple, and as always at the Blue Crab Crab House, the best crabs in Jacksonville, oysters and seafood, period. Blue Crab Crab House, open every day except for Monday, off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
It's about the hunt.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman. We take you from the water to the woods.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Let's go to the woods, y'all.
Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Prosser here, and with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. So don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out your high-interest debt. 904-999-1508. And you can see how much cash you can get today. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
What Major League Baseball pitcher holds the record for most career no-hitters and over 5,000 strikeouts?
Just letting your homeowner's insurance renew each year may cost you money. Shop around and you may find a better plan. Let Southern Oak Insurance give you an option at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Nolan Ryan's 7 career no-hitters might be an unbreakable record, but his 5,714 strikeouts certainly is.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
A new exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card is your opportunity to go from cardholder to ticket holder for the FIFA World Cup 2026. For a limited time, when you're approved for a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card, you're eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more today at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
In the game of vehicle performance and reliability, Atlantic Infinity is always the top pick. This is Hayes Carlion. Did you know that every certified pre-owned Infinity is inspected, factory-backed, with a limited warranty, and gets the same championship-level service as a brand-new Infinity? Every mile will feel like first class. Check out their full certified inventory now at AtlanticInfinity.com or visit Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Hey, Jacksonville Hicken here. I've been around the block or two, and Checkmate Coatings is who I'd call for my own place. They're my new MVP for stunning, long-lasting floors.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coatings. No massive overhead means top prices on top-quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios, too.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com today. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we do have the college football playoff starting in less than 72 hours, Friday night and into Saturday. And the Miami Hurricanes, Saturday at high noon, will travel to College Station to take on Texas A&M. Our guy when it comes to the Hurricanes, Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun Sentinel. He's getting ready to travel out to College Station. We'll talk a little Miami Hurricanes with Adam coming up towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Also, my buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 will stop by to talk Jags, the AFC playoff picture, and more. Speaking of not only the AFC playoff picture, but the entire NFL playoff picture, boy, Week 16 in the National Football League is the best week of the year. Now, games are getting more important because we're getting towards the end of the season. But if you looked at this schedule, good grief, man. It begins Thursday night. A battle for the NFC West, more than likely, with the LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. That is an enormous game. Saturday night, you have an enormous game between Green Bay and Chicago. A Green Bay team that is limping into that game after the loss to Denver last week. Of course, they lost Micah Parsons for the year with a torn ACL. You then head into Sunday, LA Chargers at Dallas. Huge game for the Chargers. I saw where the Cowboys have like a 1% chance of making the postseason. Technically still alive, but it's not going to happen. But it is a huge game for the Chargers. You then go to Tampa Bay, Carolina. One of the quirks of the NFL schedule, and I don't know why this happened, but it did. It's Week 16. Tampa Bay has not played Carolina yet. They play twice over the next 3 weeks. Denmark, I don't know if I like that. The Jaguars are playing the Colts twice in a month. I think that's even too short, but that happens. Having two teams play twice, one Week 16, the other Week 18, I don't know why the NFL did that. They lucked out because it's going to be two massively important games, but I don't know why you'd have two teams play twice in basically a 14-day period.
Yeah, I think it's kind of ridiculous, and it feels like it's happened more recently than more in the last couple of years than it has. At least because I might be paying attention to it more. Like I remember there was a game or two teams where one team played, they had a bye week, and they played the same team they did right before the bye week. Like that seems kind of ridiculous.
It's almost like they forgot. They're like, oh, Tampa, Carolina haven't played. Well, let's just put them at week 16, and then we'll put them again 14 days later, week 18. You also look, obviously, Jacksonville, Denver. We've spent a ton of time on that. New England and Baltimore. Must win for Baltimore, right? Must win. New England, there is a world where New England loses to Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. The Jaguars beat Denver. Jacksonville would be the 2 seed in the AFC playoffs if those two things happen after Sunday. Huge game for both the Patriots and the Ravens. And then Monday Night Football is, again, enormous. San Francisco, Indianapolis. It was interesting. I was watching Pat McAfee earlier today. He made a good point. Even though Phillip Rivers played an entire season in Indy in 2020, that was the COVID year. So this game for Phillip Rivers on Monday night will be the first time he's played in a full Lucas Oil field in front of a sellout crowd, as they are in basically a must-win against San Francisco. And if you start thinking about this too, the Jaguars get the Colts a week from Sunday. That will be a short week for Indianapolis. They play Monday night. They'll have to turn right back around Christmas week and play 6 days later against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pittsburgh and Detroit is also a huge game. Detroit is currently on the outside looking in the NFC playoff picture. Pittsburgh is an anomaly for a schedule as well. Now, if Baltimore loses their next two, then Pittsburgh, it doesn't matter. But Pittsburgh could literally lose their next two games by 40. Could just get absolutely destroyed in week 16 and week 17. It wouldn't matter. If they beat Baltimore in week 18, they would still go to the playoffs. So if Pittsburgh wins a couple and Baltimore loses a couple, well then obviously yes, week 18 wouldn't matter. But Pittsburgh could theoretically, if they want to rest anybody that's banged up, or if they want to, whatever, in week 16 or week 17, those two outcomes do not matter. As long as they were to beat Baltimore in week 18, they would win the AFC North. And that's the only way either the Ravens or the Steelers are going to get in. The only way they're going to get in is winning that division. Whoever doesn't win that division is not going to the playoffs. That is going to be a one playoff team division between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. You got to win it because the runner-up is not going to be high enough in the AFC wild card standings. And as we mentioned, Jacksonville and Denver Sunday 4 o'clock. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Pre-game coverage 11 a.m. We will have the fifth quarter for you, a late night edition of the fifth quarter, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Broncos go final. We should get underway about 9 o'clock or so Sunday evening. I was telling Tyler Brook earlier, I'm taking my wife, Little Hack. We're going to Disney on Friday and Saturday, but they have been made well aware that by no later than 11 a.m. Sunday, we are hitting Interstate 4 so that I can be back and have time to prepare for the 4 o'clock kick between the Jaguars and the Broncos. And, of course, we'll also have the fifth quarter for you 2 hours after they go final. Speaking of that game, let's preview that game. Let's also take a look back at Trevor Lawrence's career performance. Probably was the best performance he's ever had as an NFL quarterback. We'll look at the AFC playoff picture as well. My buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 he stops by next as we start taking a deep dive into what is probably the biggest game of the year to this point for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They sit 10-4. The Broncos sit 12-2. Two of the top three teams in the AFC getting after it at Mile High on Sunday. Let's preview it with Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. He joins me next on a Tuesday night here in Jacksonville, Florida. We're glad you're with us. It's Hacker After Dark.
He watches the coach's film to find the things you might have missed. Jeff Lageman checks the tape for you. Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Inspected by Napa Auto Care on 1010 XL.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
It's December. You need cash. You also need a new Kia Fast. At Kia on Atlantic, you can get both because it's our year-end cash bash. And during the Kia Season of New Tradition sales event, make no payments for up to 6 months or take advantage of 0% APR. Hurry and get to the year-end cash bash. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
It's the Gator Podcast Channel with Frank Frangie and me, Dan Hicken, on all things Gators. Hacker and Denny Thompson have Gator Bites, and you can find them wherever you find podcasts or at 1010XL.com. Presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, I'm worried.
You? Really? About what?
Well, I like to have a little seasonal potluck. You know, invite some friends and neighbors and guys from the office. But if the food gets spicy and the party gets rocking and that old toilet in the two-piece can't handle the traffic, well, what if my drain backs up right in the middle of everything?
Dude, imagine you're wearing my sunglasses.
Okay. Shoomp. Whoa.
If you're planning to host a holiday party and a blocked household drain line threatens to ruin the whole thing, call us and tell us. The drain clearing experts at Bueller Aaron Plumbing will unclog your drain for free.
You do that for free?
It's Christmas.
Yeah, but for free?
The holidays can get pretty hectic. If a clogged drain line threatens to ruin the whole thing, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I know it's football season, but I know you love basketball too. And youth sports are always in season at the First Coast YMCA. Registration is now open for winter basketball at the Y. Today, more than ever, our kids need to experience the joy of being a kid while also learning the importance of teamwork, respect, and healthy living. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, fun environment with an exciting youth basketball league. Learn more at fcymca.org.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, City Rescue Mission is here to help. Learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
The Creeks Athletic Association in St. Johns County offers a variety of sports for children 5 to 18. Learn how to get your child involved at caale.org.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Custom Home Builders. Fed up with your electrical and low voltage companies that ghost you mid-project, sparking delays? Unreliable subs and poor electrical work that derails your schedules? Denny Thompson here for Tyson Inc., experts in seamless electrical services for your custom builds. Pre-construction planning, integration, and installation. No hassle. Your homeowners will love the new Tyson showroom. Home builders team up with Tyson for your next home building project. TysonInc.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. Jaguars Broncos. It is a big one on Sunday out at Mile High, 4 o'clock Eastern. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL Radio. The Jaguars now 10-4 on the year. First place in the AFC South after absolutely destroying the New York Jets on Sunday. Let's recap the game, what might have been Trevor Lawrence's best game as an NFL quarterback, and let's certainly take a look ahead to the big one out in Denver with my buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Jamal, how we doing, man?
What's going on, Hacker? I've decided that I'm going to need to start packing like a coloring book or something to keep me busy in the second half of these Jags games if they keep blowing folks out like this. So I'm just trying to decide on what it's going to look like.
4 out of the last 5, Nick Mullins has been in the fourth quarter. That means the games have not been in doubt. Jamal, let's not bury the lead. 5 touchdown passes, another one on the ground, 380 total yards, and 6 scores for Trevor Lawrence. That was his best game as an NFL quarterback, correct?
Yeah, without a doubt. Look, I think we've seen Trevor get hot before. I don't think we've ever seen Trevor like this before. I think it's clicked. I think we kept kind of expressing some patience. Liam Cohen expressed some patience, and I think the light's on. Liam Cohen was hired for this. He was hired to do for Trevor what he did for Will Levis at Kentucky. He was hired to do for Trevor what he did for Baker Mayfield in Tampa. And it took a little while, but I think the light's on. I mean, and it's not just yesterday or Sunday. It's been a few weeks now where you've seen the elevation. You've seen Trevor looking like the guy. I mean, Travis Etienne even said it after the game. He said, I've never seen Trevor playing this confident. And he made a point to say, not even when they won the national championship at Clemson did he feel like Trevor was playing as confident as he's playing now. I think this guy's taking it to another level. I think Liam's really finally kind of gotten there with Trevor. I think it's finally clicked.
And there are a lot of factors as to why that may be the case. I want to talk about Liam Cohen in a moment, but I want to focus right now on Jakobi Meyers. Jamal, the interesting thing about this is if Travis Hunter doesn't go down in practice, I don't know if Jakobi Meyers is a Jacksonville Jaguar. He might still have been, but certainly the Jaguars needed to do something at the trade deadline after the Hunter injury, and the offense has been just completely different since Jakobi Meyers arrived here in Jacksonville.
Look, I shout out to Liam Cohen and these guys. They retooled that receiver room midway through the season. If you look at what it was thought to be in training camp and what it is now, it is completely different. They even changed the roles for some guys. Like Brian Thomas Jr. early in the year, they were asking him to do things that he's not doing now. Jakobi has opened it up. Jakobi goes over the middle, takes those intermediate throws, let Brian be Brian. Win on the outside, win down the field, make the splash plays, and that's what they're doing, rather than trying to make Brian be maybe somebody that he's not ready to be at this stage in his career. And the Brian that they have is dynamic. Down the football field, outside the number, I'm struggling to run with him. Jakobi Meyers is opening everything up by eating up all that middle, that intermediate, making those linebackers and safeties have to step up and go hit him. And he's pulling in those tough catches to keep the chains moving and keep drives alive.
Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Another factor as well, Jamal, is probably the play of the offensive line in recent weeks. On Sunday, that was the second consecutive game where Trevor Lawrence did not get sacked. I believe the Jets officially touched him twice in the pocket. There were 2 quarterback hits, 0 sacks, and he threw the ball, darn near 40 times. Again, the offensive line has been questioned at times this year, but there is no doubt that unit's playing the best football of the season right now.
Yeah, and I mean, the Jets front isn't a bad front. I mean, there's talent there, multiple first-round draft picks, and they took care of business, and they did it without Walker Little. They did it with Cole Van Lannon at left tackle. I mean, right now, if there's an MVP on that offensive line, it's got to be Cole Van Lannon, right? Guys started meaningful football games at left tackle, left guard, right guard, and played pretty well at all of them. So he's helped with that continuity. I mean, sure, has the offensive line blinked in some of those big games where Trevor got beat up, and that's part of the reason why maybe things didn't go well? Sure, it happens. But overall, the offensive line has found its stability in more games than not and really given Trevor time. And when Trevor has time, he can be lethal. And even when he's under pressure, I mean, think about that play to Parker Washington. He even said, hey, I knew I was going to be hot. He was running for it, running around, able to go back there and make a play. Or on his rushing touchdown play. Trevor is confident right now. He believes that he can make a guy miss in space, and he's doing that. He's eating up yards and making plays with his legs and his arm, and the offensive line's opening up a lot of time for him.
You mentioned Travis Etienne earlier. Again, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. I'm old enough, Jamal, to remember when Jaguar fans, and I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house, I was kind of one of them as well in the media, was saying, I wonder if there's going to be a trade or could he be outright released? Hank Bigsby's getting all the number one reps in training camp, and they seem to like these two rookies an awful lot. And now here we are, fast forward, four or so months, and Etienne just found the end zone not once, not twice, but 3 times through the air. You want to talk about somebody that's going to get paid this offseason? That is Travis Etienne.
Yeah, look, I don't think it was ever a question of Travis's talent, right? The past couple of years, Travis had been banged up a little bit, had some injuries that kind of sidelined him. The offensive line definitely wasn't doing him any favors in Doug's offense. So I don't think it was that anybody questioned if Travis could be the guy. We're not that far removed from nationally Travis Etienne being compared to Christian McCaffrey. That's, 2 or 3 years ago. It's not that far. I mean, so things change, people forget. But Travis is immensely talented, and we're seeing that being unlocked. I think folks were saying maybe move on from Travis because the NFL today, you don't want to invest a ton of money in that position. And this is the final year of his contract, and somebody is about to pay up for Travis Etienne. Is it James Gladstone and the Jaguars? Look, that's a decision for the offseason. But somebody's going to pay this guy because he's making big plays. I mean, 3 receiving touchdowns in one game. I mean, that matched his career total. All of a sudden, you got a coach that's putting you in a position to succeed and making it a point to let you go and make plays, and you match your career total in a single game. Yeah, Travis Etienne's getting paid this offseason by somebody. Is it the Jaguars? We'll wait and see what it looks like. But, I mean, there's definitely a tough decision that's going to be there because the guy's good.
Couple of more for Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, defensively, look, they were setting records at the beginning of the year with takeaways, and then, as we all figured, the law of averages caught up with them, and there was probably a month or so where the takeaways did not come at all. But it appears that engine is revved back up again, man. This defense is once again getting their hands on the football, and they're making plays out there.
Well, the takeaways really never dried up that much, Hacker. I mean, they came in other ways. Maybe special teams makes a takeaway, but it's all still the same fundamental principle. I think the Jaguars had like 3 games this year where they didn't have a takeaway at all. Overall, they've had at least one takeaway in just about every game this season. So not having the takeaways seems like more of a fluke than having the takeaways. This is stuff that they drilled from the start of training camp until now with the way they punch at the football, the way they go after the football in practice. They want to take it away. And different defensive coordinators have talked it. They've talked it. But the way this staff, these people have repped it in practice, is just coming to fruition out there on the football field.
Jamal, I want to certainly spend some time on Denver with you, but quickly back to Liam Cohen. From Thanksgiving of 2023 till January 6th of 2025, the Jacksonville Jaguars were awful. They were 5-18. They played 23 football games. They lost 18 of them, sometimes in horrifically embarrassing fashion. Look at Monday night against Buffalo last year as a prime example. Doug Peterson is fired. Trent Baalke is fired. And in comes James Gladstone and obviously Liam Cohen. And what those two guys, and let's focus on Liam here, what they have done with a team that they inherited that went 5-18 before their arrival, and to get them to 10-4, and in the conversation for a 1 or a 2 spot in the AFC playoffs is absolutely astounding to me. What a job he has done.
Yeah, look, the job Liam has done I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, he took over a team that lacked confidence and has built these guys up. I mean, they had been struggling for the better part of a year under Doug Peterson. And this just goes to show you coaching matters. The ability for a coach to understand how to put his players in the best position matters. I think a lot of us around here had said for a while that it wasn't that this team lacked talent. The Jaguars had a bunch of talent. It was that some of the guys were being put in questionable positions. I mean, it was a running joke last year, and there was a story that maybe frustrated some folks about Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen playing rock, paper, scissors on the sideline to see which one of them could go in. But that just goes to show you the rotations didn't make sense on defense. Some of the stuff that they were doing on the offensive side of the ball didn't make sense. They weren't putting guys in the right position to succeed for their skill set. All of a sudden, you look up and you've got Buster Brown basically playing as your CB1. He was a guy who was struggling to get on the field under the last regime, but he's not just playing as your CB1. He's playing as a guy that's going to be a priority that you got to re-sign this offseason because he's playing such good football for you. Coaching matters. This coaching staff has done a great job at taking the players they have and putting them in a position to succeed.
It's a great point. Not only Monteric Brown, you look at B.J. Green, Dennis Gardeck, Quentin Morris, Danny Strigow, Cole Van Lannon. Not exactly household names at the beginning of the year, and all of those guys have been vital to where the Jaguars are now at 10-4. And Jamal, that brings us to a big one on Sunday, man. The 12-2 Broncos, currently the number 1 seed in the AFC. They are, I believe, undefeated at home, the only undefeated team at home that's left in the NFL, if my memory serves, against Jacksonville. No one outside of Jacksonville will pick the Jaguars to win this game, and as we know, Liam Cohen will certainly use that as motivation on Sunday.
Look, nobody should want to play the Jaguars right now. I don't care. Yeah, the Broncos are on an 11-game winning streak, but they're winning. They're eking out wins. The Jaguars have been rolling through people over the better part of the last month. Nobody wants to play the Jaguars right now. Is this a huge game? Yes, this is a monumental game because this is a game that could be the difference between a tiebreaker between you and Houston. This is a game that could move you up in the pecking order when you start talking about the end of the season for where you get seeded for the playoffs. This is a huge game for the Jaguars. The Broncos are a tough team. They're really good. And this is a measuring stick kind of game because if you want to make a run at this thing in the postseason, more than likely you're going to have to play Denver again. So this is one of those where you say, all right, you go out there and see where the chips fall. And if you win, great. If you lose close, okay, we'll get another shot at it.
It's a great point. And in the AFC, Jamal, you got to keep winning, man. All these AFC teams have decided to just win in the month of December. You look on Sunday, the Chargers, the Bills, the Texans, the Broncos, all won. So if you're Jacksonville and, quite frankly, every other team in the AFC, you got to keep winning because everybody else is.
Right. Look, the race is on. The NFC is a little bit different. But this year in the AFC, it is a race to the finish where nobody can afford to blink. The Jaguars have an opportunity to lock up a playoff spot this week, I believe, if they take down the Broncos. But that's just getting in. If you want to be able to say you won the division, a game in Jacksonville at home, then you got to keep rolling.
Jaguars Broncos Sunday 4:00. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Jamal, leave us with this. I know you were down in Miami on Friday and you saw the Reigns Vikings bring home the Class 3A state championship. What a final drive for Reigns to take the lead there late in the fourth quarter.
Man, how about them Vikings, Hack? You want to talk about a crazy game? You say the final drive, the final 3 drives of that game. I think it was a better part of 3-4 minutes. I mean, the Reigns offense had really kind of struggled to find its footing. But late in that game, TJ Cole leads a drive down, gets into the end zone himself. Northwestern answers back with a bomb. I mean, there was panic. But that stadium, I mean, that team believed. They walked back to Darius Washington, catches the touchdown pass with 10 seconds left. I mean, what a finish. What a game. I mean, congratulations to the Reigns Vikings. That's a story that anybody can get behind. You know, you You go there, you lose the year before, you set the goal to get back and finish the job, and they got it done.
Ultimate redemption. You lose to Northwestern 41-0 in the state championship game last year. You see them again 52 weeks later, another state championship, and you win late in the fourth quarter to cap off a 3A state title for the Reigns Vikings. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, tell us about Teal the Show and the coverage you guys will have heading into the Denver game on Sunday.
Yeah, you can come hang out with us for Teal the Show every Monday and Friday night at 11:20 over on Channel 4. We'll try and, have a little bit of fun, a lot of Victory Mondays this year, but we'll tell you what the Jaguars got to do to get a win against the Denver Broncos. That's every Monday and Friday night at 11:20 over on News 4 Jax.
Jamal, I know you're busy, man. Thank you for the time. I'll see you down there in the Jaguar locker room on Wednesday.
For sure. Appreciate you, Hacker.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Offense, defense, and special teams all contribute.
We got ourselves a roster.
After the game, pump up the Superior Plumbing Special Teams Player of the Game.
They got to match our attention.
On 1010XL.
Truth Teller here, and I've solved all of your holiday problems and stress. A gift card from the Blue Crab Crab House. Get this, you buy a $50 gift card, and you get an additional $15 card for free. It's that simple, and as always at the Blue Crab Crab House, the best crabs in Jacksonville.